Most people don't know what's holding them back, but you do because you listen to me, Sam, your self-care guru and journal junkie. Welcome to Journal Entries, your safe place where you can tune in weekly to get tips, tricks, and journal prompts to uncover your feelings, gain clarity, and make your move. Hello, hello, hello. I hope that you are having a wonderful week so far. I journal very differently than what I assume most people journal as, but also and mostly differently than what I used to journal, because I technically have been journaling for many years. I remember like 2015 or 2016. Maybe even before that, but let's just settle with then, is when I remember creating a consistent habit out of journaling. And I don't mean consistent as in daily. Consistent is just anything that you do in a pattern, right? So consistent might mean once a week. For me, it was about 4 to 5 days a week. But what journaling looked like for me back then was mostly gratitude and affirmations. What it looks like for me now is a way for me to explore who I am in self-discovery and relief of big emotions and so much clarity and understanding and inspiration and motivation. It just feels like a completely separate practice than what I used to do. Not that one way is better than the other or one way is right or wrong, but there really is so many different ways that you can journal. And so on today's episode, I'm going to walk you guys through different ways and different types of journaling, because some days you might need to write out some affirmations. That it feels good sometimes. You might need a gratitude journal day, right? And then there are other times in our life, particularly tough seasons, tough transitions, where it is helpful to have an outlet, right? Some prompts and a way to process what's going on and have the clarity to go forward. So I'm going to walk you through the different types of journaling and give you prompts for each one. So my goal for you is that you can identify which one feels best and then use the prompts for it. And I will be putting all the different types. Let's see, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have 5 different types for you, and I'll be putting those plus the journal prompts in the show notes. So come back to this when you have like 10 minutes, let's say, to go through the prompts of your choosing. The first type of journaling is setting intentions for the day or affirmations, pretty much one and the same. Intentions or affirmations are phrases that you can use to set the tone for the day and kind of visualize. It's not necessarily planning your day. It's more so envisioning how you want to feel throughout your day and how you want your day to go, right? So 2 journal prompts that I like for affirmations and setting the intentions in the morning. Number 1, what emotions do I want to feel today? Number 2, where should I focus my time today? I should have started. A lot of the prompts that I'm going to give you today are a lot more than just, I am blank, or I am earning a lot of money, right? Like, my affirmations used to be that. It would be like, I am statements, which are also good. But if you wanted to journal on a deeper level and also do affirmations, that's what I would recommend. What emotions do I want to feel today? And then also, where should I focus my time today? Each one of these is like a can of worms that in my private client sessions, we just go deep and open up all of them and go into all of them. But I'll just give you about 2 for each one. The second type of journaling is to decompress after a long day. Another way that I like to say this is brain dumping. So this is basically decompressing. Maybe it's after work or just after a stressful day, parenting, and it allows us to get thoughts out of our head so that we can be more centered and operating from a more neutral place. And also, especially if you do this right before bed, it can help you sleep better. So if you're looking to decompress and to brain dump, my 2 prompts for you today are: 1, what did I accomplish today? This is what I call my accomplishment list. And I want you to write as many things as possible, including things like I showered, I walked the dog, I cooked a meal. And then, of course, things at work, like maybe you pulled a report or gave a presentation, all of the things, all the things. What did you accomplish today? 2 is who helped you or made you feel happy today. That always will make you feel good and supported. So I like doing that one for decompressing. Another way that I like to decompress, which isn't necessarily a journal prompt, is just writing out everything that's on your brain. And if nothing really comes up, that's where a prompt is really good. But those of you listening that are like, oh my gosh, I have so much on my brain, when you open up your journal tonight, just allow yourself to write freely. You can write bullet points and have a list, and then you can start writing paragraphs because one of the list items made you feel a certain way and you wanted to tap into that, and then it made you think about an idea that you wanted to doodle about, right? Just like get it all out onto paper. So that's another way that you could go about that. The third way to journal is to narrow in on your goals. They say that writing down your goals make us 42% more likely to actually achieve them. But I want to add in, it might make us 42% more likely to achieve them unless we're going after the wrong goals. So my prompts for those of you that want to set goals or reassess your goals. Number 1, what does success mean to me? Or what does success look like for me now? Honoring the different person that you are now than you were a year ago or 5 years ago or 10 years ago, the different season of life you're in, the different, everything that's different about you and your life now. So given that, what does success feel like for you? How would you know you're successful? Journal prompt number 2, who has achieved this goal already? And how can they inspire you or help guide you? So who in your life is kind of like your role model in this in this within this goal that you're thinking of, or this lifestyle that you're thinking of? Who is it that you can look up to and as inspiration, or that you can reach out to and say, hey, how did you get here? Or what are the steps that you took? And I do have a third prompt for this one for goal setting. What changes will this goal require you to make? You guys know that I love using journaling to create action, to tell me what to do next. So this is where, after setting the goal and it's aligned with how we want to feel, we can think, well, what habits do I have to have so that I can, achieve that goal? Maybe it's waking up earlier or going to bed later, or it's waking up later and going to bed later. And it's just being more intentional with what we do with our time. There's a million things. So for you, what are those changes? The next type of journaling is gratitude. You all know this. Expressing gratitude is one of the quickest and easiest and most popular journaling practices. It makes us feel good. It promotes optimism. It just makes you, it's definitely one of those things where you look on the bright side, right? And people often turn to gratitude if they are feeling not on the bright side, if they're feeling like they are going through a challenge or a failure, something like that. And so people who journal about gratitude come to this realization typically of there's just so much to be grateful for. They're in a better spot than they thought that they were in their down state. And, there is a sunny side. There's a brighter side. The grass is greener where they are. So I typically don't like the what are 3 things you're grateful for? It's fine and dandy if you want to do that, but it's just kind of hard for me to just pick something out of thin air, pick 3 things, let alone out of thin air. So my prompts for you first is, what is the best thing that happened to me today? And second, congratulations to me for blank, and fill it in. And remember, back to our accomplishment list. This could be anything. Congratulations to me for waking up early and eating a healthy breakfast before going into work. Congratulations to me for doing everything that I needed to do today, plus driving my kids all around town to their different sporting events and getting dinner on the table by 9 p.m. Congratulations to me for doing this presentation at work and getting a standing ovation, whatever it is. What will take your gratitude to the next level is visualization. This is something that I love to do with my private clients, but you can do this on your own, and you can do it as often as you want. You can do it every day or every once in a blue moon. But what this does is it allows you to experience the gratitude. It allows you to take a grateful moment that you have and relive it, make it that much more special. So a gratitude moment that I often go back to is when I often go to, but this one particular time I went to the farmer's market with my mom. And it was when I was living in my hometown, but not now. I lived here a few years ago and then I moved away. So it was during that first stint of moving here. I walked my dog to the market, and I think she had her dog at the time with her. And so we brought our dogs and we just shopped the farmer's market and walked around. And it was just such nothing crazy. It wasn't nothing magical happened there, but especially after moving away from my family, reflecting back on that, it just felt like home. It felt so special to me. And so visualizing it, I would visualize myself putting the leash on my dog and then remembering the steps and the streets that I took to get to the market, and then seeing my mom. I think she was already at the fruit stand when I got there. And so I picture her seeing me and the embrace that we had, and then just browsing the different vegetables and whatnot. And that experience with my eyes closed and just in this peaceful state feels so good. And it takes me from whatever is going on in my day-to-day life, most likely chaos and overwhelm or stress, having a moment of gratitude like that, no matter how simple it is, again, it just makes you feel grateful for all that you have and optimistic that, your life isn't that bad and things will get better. So that's a very quick way to explain how I do my visualization process. The final way of journaling that I'm most excited to share with you, so I hope that you are still with me, is journaling for clarity. When we journal, we move through ideas and thoughts and beliefs that is often really hard to express verbally. And sometimes, if you're like me, we don't even understand it yet. We don't even know what it is that we're feeling, right? And so journaling, especially the act of writing pen to paper and slowing down, allows us to clarify those thoughts. that are in our brain and understand them. And it also helps give us the stability and what's the word I'm trying to think of? Validation. It gives us validation of whatever we are thinking or feeling and the stability of what we want and the hope and sometimes even action items to keep going. It's incredible. This is what I coach my private clients through. This is what all of my resources, freebies as well. This is what it's all geared towards, is for clarity and just allowing you to let go of what's been holding you back so that you can see more clearly and actually obtain that vision and that version of you in your life. So for journal prompts, I often go to ones that are like why or when. For clarity, if you want to journal for clarity, I want you to first think, what is it in your life that you need clarity on? Is it in a relationship? Is it at work? Is it within family? And then it'll be easier to apply these two prompts to your situation because they're pretty broad and generic. The first one is, why did that situation or why did that person make me feel this way? And this doesn't have to be a huge argument that happened. Sometimes I'll be watching Virgin River because they always have like emotional things go on. It is definitely a drama TV show if you've never seen it. And this most recent season, I guess I'm in a different season of life now, but I binged the first 4 seasons all at once. And the relationship between Jack and Mel, the 2 main characters, there were so many times where I'm like, oh my gosh, like just something that they said triggered like a thought that I had or a desire, like I want to have a relationship like that, or I want to be open enough to talk about this with someone, like so many things. So it could just be something that you saw on a TV show or a lyric that you heard in a song, or it might be something that happened at work or a person that did something to make you feel this way, right? So just giving some examples to help you think of a lot of different ways that you can find clarity through big and smaller moments. So why? Why did that situation make you feel X way, whatever feeling it is that you're feeling? Another prompt, when was the first time that you felt this way? This is really good to just reflect back, to get to know yourself a little bit more. And with this one in particular, you'll get to see, is this a new feeling? Is this a pattern or a behavior? Like you always feel this way when this happens? Is it this something, a feeling that you not enjoy, but are able to work through? Or is this detrimental and it's hurting you and we need to work through this so that you don't feel this way again? Right? That's why I say this is a can of worms. Each one of these, we can go deeper and deeper into them. But the top one, the top layer of this was, when was the first time you felt this way? And the third one, what would my perfect day look like? It might be easier to break it down and think, what would my perfect day look like in a relationship? What would you do? What would your perfect day look like at work? How would you feel? What activities would be on your list? What would your perfect day look like on your own? Maybe a weekend to yourself. What would you do? Who would you be with? So what would that perfect day look like? We went over a lot of different types of journaling. And again, they are all great. I think they all serve a very different purpose, and you can do all of them, or you can do one of them. I think understanding what it is that you want out of sitting down to journal is the first step. And then using prompts if you are unsure of how to process all of that that's going on in your brain, or you just need a starting point. So again, all of that will be in the show notes. As a quick recap, number 1, journaling for affirmations or setting intentions. Number 2, journaling for decompressing or brain dumping. Number 3, journaling to narrow in on your goals. Number 4, journaling for gratitude. And number 5, journaling for clarity. I hope that this episode gave you some clarity and that you will enjoy some of the prompts that I provided. Feel free to DM me and let me know any aha moments that you have from these prompts. I love hearing from you guys, and it just makes my heart so happy to hear that you are utilizing the prompts that I share and that it's helping you in your life. Thank you for tuning in, and I'll see you next week. Thanks so much for tuning in to this week's journal entry. I love connecting with my listeners, so make sure you screenshot this episode and tag me on Instagram at samantha.s.says so I know you're listening. And don't forget to grab your free training and journal prompts at www.samanthapenkoff.com/podcast.